Howdy y'all, this is Texas Gaming Industries here, and welcome back to another episode of my Let's Play of Now Boarding. In the previous episode, after several months of operation, we've been able to acquire Southampton, as well as starting to make a little bit of decent money in the British Isles. And in this episode, hopefully we'll be able to practically take care of one or two tasks on our task list in order to finish the UK map. It'll take a while and a lot of money and a lot of people, but in short, once we practically set our minds to it, we'll be able to get it done. That being said, let's head back to the career and head back to the UK. So we need to buy an orange terminal, but we need to focus on expanding. So I'm going to purchase Southampton, and we're also going to acquire a coffee stand, which means I'll have to make some arrangements, such as putting these plants to the side, moving the soda machine down here, and moving the coffee stand up there. And let's get started with the next one. So now with Southampton, it's going to be pretty much popular with anybody wanting to travel to the seaside for a holiday. Let's see, we'll send the plane this way, and we'll send this plane in the other direction. And we'll send the plane to this. Actually, no. Alright, that'll do it. We'll be able to get the money cloud this way, but at least, however, our planes are now scheduled properly and will be ready for service. Let's see, 3 for London, 1 for Birmingham. Send that plane out. Pick up some more passengers. Let's see, 69. There's 5 people heading to Birmingham. Now there's 4. Happiness cloud achieved. Let's use existing and use existing, and the other plane will use existing flight plans. So we can make sure all of our planes get to where they need to go. And money class, $750. Pretty good. Got an A. Got some B's. Just as long as we be able to keep up with our passenger demand, everybody will be very much happy of flying with our airline. Got some for Birmingham. Got some for London. And some for Bristol. And 3 more people heading to Birmingham. But we also have to pick up some passengers on the Isle of Man. $750, that is good. Reading's gone up. Passengers have been delivered. And I believe that was a happiness cloud that we went through, which means our passengers are now a little bit more happier. We got 3 for Birmingham, 1 for Norwich, which I'm sending out. We got 3 people heading to Southampton. We have to pick up those people from the Isle of Man, though. And that's practically it for the month. And now we just have to wait until the rest of the passengers finally arrive in their destination. We need to get this one passenger have enough, we could expand to another. Oh, don't have much. I might as well just buy a game store for now, just to bring in a little bit of extra revenue into our operation. But I'll have to move some of these things around because they're kind of getting in the way. I guess that will have to do, I suppose. Unless I move the candy shop and the soda machine together on one side of the airport. It's practically like a puzzle trying to figure out where to put all of these things. I guess I'll just leave it at that. Let's start the next month, and let's get some people into the airport. Fortunately, they're getting what they need before they take their flight, getting themselves a drink, a snack, a cup of coffee, or a game, as well as some candy if they need some. Just gotta have something to munch and drink on while they're on the plane, after all. If they don't want to. Well, if they don't want the free complimentary snacks and drinks. But now we got some people heading up to the Isle of Man. And thankfully, some of these airplanes are picking them up and taking them to their rightful destinations. And we're gonna get the happiness bonus. Or not. Must have been the wrong one. Yeah, that was the wrong flight here. If it was going from Birmingham to London and vice versa, I would have been able to get it. Okay. $750, at least we got that. But now we have to get these passengers to the Isle of Man. But I only have enough for 4 people. This one will have to wait for the next plane, I guess. Let's see. Cash coming in, we got the next plane pulling into the terminal. Send this plane out. And get these passengers on board as well. We gotta get some people to Birmingham and some others heading to the Isle of Man. Got some for London. There's a lot of people wanting to go to Birmingham. Okay, let's send that plane out. And send another plane out for Birmingham. There's so many people wanting to go to Birmingham. Oh my gosh! Let's see. Send this plane out, obviously. Because it's not on the right direction. Well, it's not on the flight path, that's the thing. Let's send this plane out, and let's see if we can get another plane to come in to take care of these 2 people heading to the Isle of Man. Let's just send this plane out for its direct flight, and that should do it. 76, an extra passenger, but still 1 extra passenger nonetheless. $69,101. Let's see. We need 7,000 for this. So we might be able to expand our plane operation if we buy it. We should at least try to get through this month first. itself is that. And there we go. Let's get these two together and make sure they wait patiently for their plane to arrive. And there's still a lot of people wanting to go to the Isle of Man. First Birmingham, and now the Isle of Man. What's next? Southampton? Well, it's going to be possible when August rolls around for the holidays. Let's see, November, and... oh, and May as well. Let's send these planes out. Let's see, we're just going to make sure these people are still happy so they can still fly our planes. Alright, let's see. We got some people heading for Southampton. Get a lot of these people heading to the Isle of Man. Let's see, can I get some people delivered to the Isle of Man on this plane? Yes, good. And same for this one. Nice. And let's send this plane out. A little extra cash thanks to that money cloud. Get the rest of these passengers taken care of. Let's see. Send this plane out. $750. That's still pretty good. Let's see. Seems existing. And final boarding. People are on the map, and whoa, those people in London are not happy. Let's send these planes out. Pick up some people from Birmingham. Let's see, they need to go to London, so at least that plane will pick them up. Okay, pulls in, and that should do it for the month. C+, but hey, 3 extra passengers. Now that we have 12 grand, we could spend it on some more stuff, but I want to buy the multi-tower and the orange terminal, because if we buy both of those, we can really start spreading our operations. We can also invest in the city of Cork, Aberdeen, and Belfast. Aberdeen will allow us to fly planes to Scotland and Belfast into Ireland. Well, Cork as well, or Newcastle, which is near the Scottish border. You can also invest in the 767, which carries 8 passengers. I think I'm probably going to go one more month. Just use the same ones again, because if we practically get over 19 grand by the end of this month, we'll be able to afford both the terminal renovation and the new air traffic control tower. Alright, first passengers dropped off. We still have a bunch of people wanting to travel to the Isle of Man. We just have to make sure that we're quick enough. Let's see. Let's send this plane out. And let's set up another plane. Alright, got some people picked up on the Isle of Man. Let's see. Alright, just gonna go back up, then back to Norwich, and then down to Bristol, which means it will practically get the money cloud. 750 extra bucks, that is pretty good. Let's send the planes out to where they need to go, and set up another flight to take care of the people around in this area. Make sure these people are happy, because if they aren't happy, they're gonna freak out, and we're gonna get into a lot of trouble. Let's see. 750 extra bucks, that is good to hear. We got one for Bristol, and we got two more, well, two bound for Norwich. Let's see. Fly into Birmingham, pick up more people, and then use the speed bonus on that plane to speed up their air travel. Let's see. Let's send this plane out. Using 60 for both. And send these out as well. Alright, we're in the 20k, and that means by the end of this month we'll have about 18k from this due to the expenditure of our staff. Well, expenditure in staff costs, as I mean they still need to get their paychecks after all. But at least, however, with this in mind, we'll be able to get the last few people delivered and also take care of, well, getting that terminal and air traffic control tower upgrade. Because it says we need a private jet, and we need something called the Lone Ranger. We don't know what those are, at least at this moment. Let's see. We'll pick up some passengers from the Isle of Man and drop them off in the cities on this flight back. Norwich. Let's see. I think we might get our first fail. Yeah. Maybe we can get it back to Norwich as quickly as possible. Come on, come on, come on! Woo! 78, but still, 18 grand. That being said, we can now start some major renovations. We buy the orange terminal renovated, new terminal was today. It's orange, airline employee of the year J. And also now we have the multi-terminal. We can now have the 12-seater plane, the private jet, and the Lone Ranger helicopter. Control tower, and yeah. With that being said, though, we still have to have our things on the wall for now, because we still need to make up for these purchases. Won't be too difficult, just as long as we're able to pay everything else at the end of the month. Then we'll be able to take care of practically almost anything. Though, we could still get our green stuff, but we can't buy any green stuff anymore. Oh wait, we can still get that stuff. But now, we can acquire the information booth and bookstore, along with the other food and drink items, along with all the orange plants and decorations. As for airplanes, let's have a look. The private jet can carry 4 passengers as a supersonic flight speed, but is only limited to 2 hops. So we can only travel to 2 destinations on this. While the Lone Ranger is slow, but its medium range is very high, and it's practically good for short flights. So I might use this to serve the cities around London. Anyway, with that being said, let's get started with the next one. And just set up the airline routes as normal, just to make sure that everybody gets to where they need to go. Passengers will pay for the cities that are far away. Well, obviously, like $70 just to go from Bristol to London. That's not very expensive in the eyes of a businessman, but it is practically beneficial for the pocket. I mean, you want to be able to travel a distance without breaking your wallet. So shorter distances, while they don't pay as much, they sometimes bring in a lot of traffic, which practically brings in more people wanting to travel. Let's send these passengers out on this plane and get these 3 Isle of Man passengers to where they need to sit. And let's just hope that we'll be able to keep up with our passenger demands on just these 3 planes. Okay, they are not happy. Let's send this plane out. Use existing route. And use existing route. Let's see. Let's send this plane out. And also set up the other flight plans. $750, that is good. And these passengers will just board their planes bound for their respective destinations again. Let's see. Fly into the Isle of Man. Both planes will pick up their respective passengers. There's some wanting to go to the Isle of Man. There's already some heading back into London. Let's see. Let's use existing on this plane and use existing on this one. And send this one out. There's a lot of people waiting up in the Isle of Man, but it won't be too difficult to practically get all those people out of that city. Alright. We got some people who are not very happy going into London. And let's see. We got one from Berkshire. Survived boarding. We have the map. So let's finish this off strong. Let's see. Alright. One passenger for the Isle of Man, which I can easily put onto this plane if it's going in that direction. Alright. With our new terminal, we were able to claw ourselves up to about 6,853. Pretty good. And we actually got up to 79, which is also good. Now, considering a 4th plane, we could buy ourselves a 4th plane or add some more stuff to the airport. But I think we'll be saving that for the next episode. So, if you had enjoyed this episode of my Let's Play of Now Boarding, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my on-site schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye!